Across centuries and continents, farmers have whispered an ancient secret that some plants grow better together. In a world rushing toward chemical quick fixes, these age-old whispers are roaring back to life. This is not just gardening advice for your backyard. It is a modern-day practice rooted in wisdom, science, and the astonishing art of letting nature do the heavy lifting. From maize fields in Kenya to vineyards in France, companion planting is transforming the way we grow our food, and the future of farming might just lie in the past. A method where crops don't just grow, they collaborate. In the Americas, indigenous farmers planted corn, beans, and squash together, a trio known as the Three Sisters. Corn stood tall, beans spiraled upward, fixing nitrogen from the air. Squash spreads low, shading the soil and locking in moisture. Together, they formed a living system, feeding the people, restoring the land, and resisting drought, pests, and erosion. Centuries later, science would prove what these farmers already knew. Nature thrives in partnerships. And now, as the world faces rising temperatures, tired soils, and the urgent demand for sustainable food, this ancient method is taking root again. Microclimates and living mulch. In modern monocultures, soil is bare and exposed, baking under the sun, or eroding with every downpour. But companion planting offers a different version, one where plants care for the earth beneath them. Take squash again. Its giant leaves act like umbrellas, shading the soil, trapping moisture, and creating a cool, damp haven where earthworms and microbes flourish. In traditional African gardens, farmers weave sweet potato vines between rows of maize. The vines sprawl across the surface, forming a living mulch that protects the ground from the elements. The soil stays soft, cool, and nutrient-rich. Drought stress lessens. Roots reach deeper, and when those cover crops decompose, they feed the next generation of plants. It's not just farming, it's engineering a micro-ecosystem naturally. Farming in 3D, vertical layers, and space efficiency. Companion planting isn't just horizontal, it's vertical. Picture a forest, trees above, shrubs in the middle, and ground covers below. Now picture a farm designed the same way. Instead of just one layer of crops, farmers stack them. Corn up top, beans winding through, squash blanketing the soil. This vertical strategy boosts total photosynthesis. More sun gets captured, more calories are produced. The Three Sisters weren't just poetic, they were efficient. This approach, sometimes called 3D farming, gives rise to an impressive metric, Land Equivalent Ratio, or LER. If an LER is greater than 1.0, it means the polyculture outperforms the monoculture in yield. In field trials, companion planting has reached LERs of 1.2, even 1.5. That's up to 50% more food per acre, without needing more land. In Southeast Asia, home gardens filled with fruit trees, shrubs, and herbs operate on the same principle. They feed entire families from a single plot, and they've been doing it for generations. Mutual boosts, when crops help each other grow. Companions don't just coexist, they help each other grow. Legumes, like beans and peanuts, pull nitrogen from the air and share it with their neighbors, like corn and rice. In Florida, interplanting tomatoes with African basil and marigolds not only reduced pests, but also produced more and bigger tomatoes. Scientists believe it's because the companions improved pollination and reduced plant stress. In East Africa, farmers noticed their maize grew taller and greener when planted alongside Desmodium, a legume known for its pest-fighting powers. But Desmodium also feeds the soil. The result? Fields with maize and Desmodium yielded 2 to 3 times more than maize planted alone. To many, this sounds like magic, but it's biology at its best. Symbiosis right in the field. Harvest diversity and risk reduction. Monoculture is like putting all your eggs in one basket. If a pest strikes, or drought hits, or disease spreads, the entire crop can fail. But in a companion system, diversity becomes a safety net. If one crop struggles, others might thrive. In the Andes, if potato blight wiped out the tubers, lupins and maize still offered seeds and grain. In modern community gardens, farmers harvest lettuce early, strawberries mid-season, and scallions late, all from the same bed. That's more food, more revenue, and less risk. Diverse harvests mean diverse nutrients too. One bed can yield carbs, proteins, and vitamins. Food security built into the soil. Time saving and season extending. On small farms, time and labor are limited. Companion planting helps make both go further. Fast-growing crops like radishes or spinach can be tucked between slower ones like peppers or broccoli. They grow, get harvested, and free up space, all before the main crop needs room. In European cottage gardens, this was known as the catch crop strategy. Simple, efficient, and ingenious. Some companions even extend the growing season. Tall plants like corn can shelter shade-loving crops during heat waves or protect tender seedlings from late frost. These microclimates expand what's possible to grow and when. Efficiency isn't just about space, it's about time, protection, and yield. Weed suppression, a natural defense. Every farmer dreads weeds, but companion plants can do the weeding for you. Cover crops like clover or sweet potatoes quickly blanket the soil, leaving no room for intruders. Their thick foliage blocks sunlight, smothering weed seedlings before they sprout. In orchards, low-growing grasses or clovers serve as ground troops, occupying every inch so weeds can't get a foothold. Even more powerful? Allelopathy. That's when a plant releases chemicals to supplant other plant growth. Rye, for example, leaves behind compounds that stunt weed seeds. Sorghum exudes sorgoleon, a natural root herbicide. Squash may even release compounds that discourage nearby weeds while shading them out. In some systems, the weed pressure becomes so low, farmers stop tilling entirely. Less tilling means less soil disturbance, and less fuel, less erosion, and fewer weed seeds brought to the surface. Over time, the weed bank shrinks, and the hoe can rest. A global revival rooted in biodiversity. The power of companion planting doesn't stop with higher yields or fewer weeds. Its deepest impact lies in the web of life it supports, a thriving biodiverse farm that mirrors nature itself. A monoculture is fragile. A single pest, a single weather event can collapse it. But a field filled with diverse, interconnected crops become resilient. It's a living network, a miniature ecosystem designed not by force, but by harmony. A safety net of biodiversity. Diversity protects. In a companion-planted field, if one crop fails, others can still survive. During locust invasions in East Africa, farmers with mixed fields fared better. Cassava and beans endured when maize was stripped. That's not a coincidence. That's design. Companion planting builds a buffer against risk. It cushions the farmer, the soil, and the harvest from shocks. Modern research confirms this. Biodiverse fields have more stable yields over time, especially under erratic weather. Like a balanced investment portfolio, they manage risk through variety, and they do more than just survive. They invite life in. Farms that buzz and bloom. When crops are diverse, so is the life around them. Bees buzz between marigolds and squash. Ladybugs hunt aphids in the tomato patch. Birds scoop down for insects stirred up among the beans. Worms churn the soil beneath, feeding on decaying roots and organic matter. Each companion adds a new layer of habitat. Flowering herbs offer nectar. Ground covers hide beetles. Tall plants provide shade and shelter. Instead of fighting pests with chemicals, these systems recruit nature's own defense team. Predators, pollinators, and decomposers. It's not just farming, it's ecosystem building. Culture, seeds, and memory. Companion planting also protects something less visible: culture. Many of the world's oldest planting systems, like the Mesoamerican milpa or the Amazonian chagra, are not just agricultural designs, they're living traditions. Passed down through generations, they carry the memory of how to live in balance with the land. Farmers who save seeds from companion crops Old varieties of beans, squash, herbs preserve genetic diversity as well. In the world of standardized hybrids, these heirlooms may hold the keys to future resilience, drought resistance, pest tolerance, or nutrient richness. By planting companions, farmers also plant memory. The modern comeback, stories from the soil. Around the world, farmers are rediscovering this ancient wisdom with stunning results. In Kenya, Jane Anyango had struggled with maize losses from the parasitic striga weed and stem borer moths. Then she learned about the push-pull system, maize flanked by Desmodium and Napier grass. The Desmodium suppressed weeds and repelled moths. Napier grass lured pests away. Her yields doubled. Her children ate better. Her neighbors followed suit. In India, rice farmers interplant nitrogen-fixing ferns, ducks, or even fish. The azolla fern nourishes the rice and feeds the ducks. The ducks eat pests and fertilize the field. It's a perfect self-reinforcing cycle, modernized tradition that works. In Europe, organic vineyards and permaculture plots bloom with flowers among grapevines, wild herbs beneath apples, and onions beside carrots. In France, roses planted at vineyard edges warn of disease early. In Germany, strips of wildflowers draw in bees and beetles. These aren't just pretty additions, they're working parts of the system. In North America, market gardeners pair kale and calendula, or tomatoes with basil and marigold. Urban farms interplant to squeeze more food into every square meter while reducing pests and boosting flavor. Even the USDA is funding companion planting research as a pillar of sustainable agriculture. In Latin America, the milpa lives on. Corn, beans, squash, and more grow together in layered fields that yield dependable food, even in poor years. In the Amazon, forest gardens mix cassava, bananas, and herbs, an ancient design inspiring new permaculture movements. From village gardens to high-tech farms, the message is the same. Biodiversity works. Science catches up. What was once dismissed as folklore is now supported by science. Field trials show better pest control, improved soil, and more reliable yields. Research on Three Sisters plots, for example, show cooler soil, better nitrogen levels, fewer pests, and more total food per acre than monoculture corn. In study after study, diverse systems outperform uniform ones in both resilience and efficiency. The verdict is clear. Ecology can replace chemistry. A field full of beneficial relationships needs fewer inputs, wastes less, and heals faster. Companion planting isn't guesswork, it's systems thinking. The future looks familiar. Today, companion planting is re-emerging under new names: regenerative agriculture, agroecology, and permaculture. But the heart of the method is the same. Put plants together that help each other thrive. Let diversity do the work. Let nature be the guide. The farms of the future may not look like endless rows of identical crops. They may look like forests of food, brimming with variety, life, and resilience. Because when we stop fighting nature and start farming with it, abundance follows. So next time you walk past a garden where beans climb corn, where marigolds hug tomato stems, where squash shades the ground like a blanket, pause. You're not just looking at a planting, you're looking at a conservation, a silent cooperation, a design older than any textbook. It's a reminder, in farming, as in life, the best results come when we grow together.